Right now we have South Carolina Congressman Nancy Mace with us. She has urged the White House to take a look at what's going on outside justices' homes right now, particularly those conservative justices who are right now the targets of these protests that she fears could turn into riots very quickly if we're not careful. Congressman, very good to have you.
Thank you, Neil.
The administration seems to be taking the view protests are fine. You're quite right to point out that they're actually against the law when trying to influence the opinion of justices in the middle of a decision, but they continue unabated. What do you make of that?
They continue unabated, and you look at the words of Jen Psaki and Joe Biden over the last couple of days, it's as if they endorse the idea of protesters showing up at the homes, the private homes of Supreme Court justices. And I don't care where you stand on the issue of pro-life or pro-choice. None of our Supreme Court justices, no matter the case, no matter the cause, no matter the outcome, should be showing up at their homes. I can tell you this is an intimidation tactic in advance of a landmark case and a landmark decision. And I personally, as you know, Neil, last year I had someone show up to my home in the middle of the night and spray paint it with Antifa and anarchist symbology. And I can tell you this is wrong. It's an act of intimidation, and it can go and turn violent very quickly, as we have seen at protests across the country over the last 2 years.
So when they argued, Jen Psaki and others in the administration argue that these so far have been peaceful protests, no need to worry, what do you say?
Well, until it's not, right? And we should be redirecting, Joe Biden and Jen Psaki should be redirecting these protests to public places, let's say the steps of the Supreme Court or Capitol Hill. Everyone, including myself, you can look at my social media comments and see I love free speech and the right to free speech, and we support that, but not, at the homes of Supreme Court justices. This is definitely seen as an intimidation tactic. Look at the remarks by Mayor Lori Lightfoot in Chicago recently, picking up a call to arms. This kind of rhetoric can lead to very dangerous outcomes, and we need to protect our Supreme Court justices, whether they lean right or lean left, no matter what.
We don't know who leaked this, Congressman. We do know that there is a suspicion it had to be a clerk for one of the liberal justices. There's, again, no way of knowing that, but that it would be disruptive, particularly in close races. Yours is cited, maybe as this becoming a wedge issue that could hurt you. What do you say?
Well, I do think that the leak needs to be investigated, and I will tell you, based on what I have seen, not only in my district and in South Carolina and across the country, only 25% of Americans want abortion for any reason. That means to me 75% of Americans are okay with some restrictions. And if you look at some of these socialist neighbors we have across the pond in Europe, many of them don't allow abortion after 12 or 15 weeks. And so we have the most liberal abortion laws in the country, and now we're going to see the U.S. Senate today look to expand those laws even further, and that is not what the American people support. And I'm someone who has understood this complicated issue. As a state lawmaker, I work to put exceptions in a fetal heartbeat bill for women who've been raped, who are victims of incest, and for the life of the mother. And these are complicated issues, but we ought to be having a conversation about them and where America is at, and it's not where the far-left progressives are today.
Congressman, I'd be remiss. We talk about your reelection effort. Former President Trump is supporting your opponent. In other words, he wants to primary you. And I'm just wondering what you make of that. His batting percentage has been pretty high. Lost a gubernatorial race in Nebraska because the candidate was seriously flawed. But having said that, does it worry you?
Well, we're looking very good in the polls. I'm very excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. We have 31 days to go. I've raised $4.5 million. My opponent has raised less than $300,000 so far this cycle. And I got to tell you, I'm running against someone who had their top secret security clearance revoked for leaking classified information about our military. And I can be trusted with our nation's secrets. And this is a fiscally conservative district. And my opponent voted for the highest tax hike in South Carolina history. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I feel very good about where I stand on many of the policies that are facing our nation, our community, our state today, and I'm looking forward to a big win on June 14th.
Obviously, Donald Trump prefers your opponent to you. He doesn't like you. And if you win and you get reelected and he runs for president, gets elected president, can you work with him?
I have said previously in 2020 when I ran, I was willing to work with anyone who was willing to work with me. In fact, I just had another bill, my 16th bill, pass out of committee unanimously with Republicans and Democrats on the Oversight Committee. That's supposed to be partisan, but it was a very bipartisan afternoon. I work very hard, and that's one of the benefits of representing a swing district, is the ability to, one, I'm conservative and be true to my principles, but also where we're willing to work together, show that there is a path to doing that. And I'm really proud of my record. And as I said before, I'm willing to work with anyone who's willing to work with me on either side of the aisle. Hard stop.
If Donald Trump were the nominee in 2024 for Republicans, would you vote for him?
I've said previously that I absolutely will support the Republican nominee. I think Joe Biden has done more damage in the first 6 months of his term than I thought possible in 4 years. And that was before the immigration crisis at our southern border. That was before Afghanistan. And that was before the supply chain and inflation and economic issues that we're facing today. And I believe if Republicans put forth the message and show our policies and solutions are better answers to the challenges facing our country today, we're going to have a big win not only in November of 2022, but that will exceed beyond into 2024 in the presidential election cycle.
All right. So no matter your differences or arguments in the past, if Donald Trump were the nominee, you'd vote for him.
I don't hold any grudges. I want to make sure I'm an effective member of Congress no matter what. That's the job I was elected to do. I'm going to work hard doing it.
Congressman, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Nancy Mace, representing beautiful state of South Carolina.